Thanks for tuning in with an episode with John. This is our tarot cards, the cards by John Holland. We're here to do a card reading for a Taurus, and this is the 14th of May. The cards were shuffled on the 13th. I've laid out a Celtic cross here. We're going to start at the centre point where the cross of all information begins. So as a beginning, we find that the user has the Hope card, and the hope is 17. Let me take it close to the camera for you guys. And I think this is a very powerful card to be drawn. And like I've said to many others, I don't actually have the hope card coming up a lot, so it's very interesting at this time. And then to connect with where it is the current situation, it's the current placement. And for me, I love the hope picture or the hope card because of the image that's inside. You can actually see like a person inside the center of the hands as it's holding out for hope and allowing the cosmic energies to come forth to the person. So this is their current state. They're in a state of hope, and with the state of hope, they're facing a challenge. And the obstacle, the challenge is the one I'm trying to pick up. Come on, fingers. And for them, it's the intuition. It's feeling the intuition from the cosmos, and it's the number 2, which is a very grounded card. Both cards are major arca, and the intuition is the challenge. So I think when we tie all these things together, it'll make more of a understanding or comprehension of why. So if we go to historical aspects, which is back the way on the cross, we look that there was a lot of disruption in their life, and a major arca card, and you can see how it breaks everything up when there's disruption. It says 16. And when I seen this, I thought that was quite interesting because this is card 16. The next card after it is actually the hope card, which is where we began today's reading. And they run together. So you got 16, 17 right next to each other. So disruption in the past, hope for the current state, and moving forward, we find ourselves with a physical card, material being the red border, and this material card is a 4, so there's a very strong force with 4, and it's a firm foundation, it's a solid future. And as you can see, there's a Bible, there's a man looking at there's a mountain, and the man's looking beyond it, down the way, to watch everything fall. And what he's saying to it is, mountain, move. And if you know the Bible, you know the passage, once your fully intuition is turned on, you can literally say, mountain, move. Any obstacles that's in their mind and their problem with their intuition, the disruptions beyond, the future's strong. All they need is to turn the intuition into the hope. So it's a very, very, very lovely reading coming from past to future. And if we go from subconscious, the lower card here, to the higher conscious, and as I teach everybody, everything you take from the lower always has to come through the higher to become something in reality. So lower consciousness, we see here the card is partnership and alliances, but it's a spiritual card. So it's meaning you're in union with something spiritual, something that's strong, something that's new to each other. And most spiritual things, you can find synchronicities and stuff, and you can read about what I believe all that in my book when you're ready to when I get that published this year. As I said, this is a spiritual card, number 3. Very, very powerful card. And when you play with partnerships and alliances, you often find that it needs a bit of fertility to come forth. And the thing I find synchronistic in this lower conscious, higher conscious reading is that they're both a 3 card, and they are one from spiritual and one from minor arca. And the fertility card is a very powerful card because it's seeds, it's the growth forward. It's all about taking your union and alliances and grouping and building it into the seed of your future, the seed of destiny. And of course, this is in lower conscious to higher conscious. So for me, as the card reader, I see a true synchronicity this way, past to future, as well as from subconscious to higher conscious. And I know the person that I'm doing this reading for, so knowing that their current obstacles in life it's a great future that's coming forth for them, and it's really, really interesting. And then to tap onto the Jacob's ladder, or the Celtic ladder that climbs up on the Celtic cross that we're doing here, you have an advisor card and a possible solutions card that goes forward. So as I teach many people, these two work together and they apply into what we've all just discussed. So as a external influence, we can see that we're actually tapping on another 3, and this border is a material border, so it's all about physical stuff in the realm. And it's 3, recognition and reward. It's a very powerful card, and if we go back through what I've just mentioned, we had a 3 here, which was the lower conscious, and a 3 here, which was the higher conscious. So not only that, we're finding a synchronicity with the third 3 card, and this is external outcomes. This is your influences, and with influences we can find that the influence is all about the light, and the light within us shines brightly. And I think this is telling the person this reading's for is take hold of the light to receive your recognition, rewards, and firm foundation. And of course, going on with the ladder, this is possible outcomes, but possible outcomes is always got some information, some tips to play with this. And this is a spiritual border, this color. So it connects for me with the same type of card as we had on the lower conscious. So it's telling us spiritually, it's a waiting game. Not physically, it's spiritually. So I think whenever this person's going through, it's reminding us that there's physical things that have to occur for a spiritual growth to evolve. And it's a little bit of a waiting game. And it's grounded. It matches these current times. And of course, the outcome of all these great things is memories of love. And it's a 6 card, and it's an emotion card. So it's a very, very powerful card in the essence of where the journey's going. And you know, as I teach all students, members also for synchronicity, we are here for the profound moments in life. So it's all about the profound memories. It's all about the emotion that we cherish together. Otherwise, what are we here for? Are we here just for the rat race? So emotion. What a lovely card to finish the reading on. And it's 6, so it's 6 of Cups. Very powerful card. So continuing on with the reading, and that was the Celtic Cross. We'll do a numerology check on that. I often say to the person on the other call, is there a question for the deck that you might have, and how many cards will we take out? So in this moment, I'd like to just take out 2 cards for the individual, and we can see that whatever question they have subconsciously, higher consciously, that maybe they don't know yet, the answer might be here. And the 2 cards that I'm pulling out, one is a spiritual strength card, a 9, very strong card. You see you're in union. And of course, with the 9, you have followed by a triumphant card, a 7. And this is a major arca card. This is very, very triumphant. It's everything in your hands. You are triumphant. So it's a good answer to the question. And then I'd like to just finish up with a timeline. And this timeline's what I do is I lay out cards. So we'll look back 2 weeks ago, we'll look a week ago, and we'll look to the present, and we'll look to a week in the future, and we'll look to a 2 week in the future. And of course, with this, we're looking at what the state would be for them consciously, and what obstacles or perhaps advice that we could find for each of these. So this is your obstacle line, and 2 weeks ago obstacle, a week ago obstacle, your present, and your future week. Move the deck for you guys. And of course, 2 weeks into the future. So using the timeline reading, we can find that 2 weeks ago, it was a very mental state to be plagued. And 2 weeks ago was trapped in fear. And of course, the obstacle at the time, 2 weeks ago, was the consideration of destiny. And this is the Wheel of Fortune. So 2 weeks ago, we were tapping into the Wheel of Fortune and removing ourselves from the trapped of fear state. Very, very interesting. A week ago, deception and envy was in the back of the mind. It's a 7 card, very, very powerful card. And of course, the sacral chakra, the second from the top, round about your navel. Very powerful card in the sense of drawing those energies, and these are manifestable energies for yourself to manifest physical things. And of course, the present. We're in Solitude 9, which I find a very powerful number, especially in the physical realm. It's the creation realm, of course, the spiritual realm. Number 7. It's quite ironic. The 7 would be over there. Stand your ground in the current time. You know, it's one of those moments where we just have to put the feet in and go for the flow. And of course, in a week's time, it's going to result in the number 13, which of course is transformational with major arca. And if we tap into potential obstacles, it's all positive forward. So in a week's time, it's absolutely amazing. And of course, 2 weeks' time, the mental game, our current obstacle will be a little bit of shadows. So shadows, remember, all shadows show light. So going back to the Celtic cross, we actually had light going up the ladder. Any shadows will help reflect the light back at you. And of course, mental conflict. But that's things that each of us go through. You just have to remember and not play the shadow game. Just know that there is only light. That's the solution around there. So it's a nice warning. Looking forward for the reading for the individual. Thanks for tuning in to All for Simplicity or John. And please, if anybody would like a card reading like this, please click the link in the description. I do charge a little bit for time shared, but it's all good time shared. God bless you all. Lots of love and blessings from Scotland.